Hey, what's up guys, Will here for GSM Arena. Poco are known for their flagship killing devices, but now they're switching gears with the new Poco M3. It's a phone with an entry-level price, but it still brings some competitive mid-range features like awesome battery life and stereo speakers. Let's see what it's all about in our full review. The Poco M3 is an entry-level device, though you wouldn't guess it at first glance. Sure, the back is plastic, and Poco doesn't try to hide that, but it manages to look unique with the glass accent and Poco logo. Instead of pretending to be shiny glass, the back panel is matte, with a rough, almost leathery texture. This adds plenty of grip. The frame is made of plastic as well, and it's rather sharp and angular, which adds even more grip. The Poco M3 isn't light, almost 200 grams, partly because of its huge battery pack, but it feels great in the hand. On the front is a large 6.53-inch IPS LCD screen covered by Gorilla Glass 3, with a 1080p resolution and a droplet-shaped notch at the top for the selfie cam. This display is pretty nice. 1080p is great to have at this price point, and content on screen looks plenty sharp. Contrast is good, with deep enough blacks, and brightness is decent. We measured up to 440 nits maximum in auto mode when in bright conditions. Colors aren't too accurate out of the box, but we were able to achieve some great accuracy through the color settings. What surprised us about the Poco M3 is that it not only has a 3.5mm jack for headphones, but also a pair of dedicated stereo speakers, something you usually see on premium devices. They're mounted on the top and bottom of the frame and sound pretty well balanced. Overall, their performance is some of the best we've heard recently. The Poco M3 scored a good mark in our loudness test, and you get solid bass and superb midtones too.
I can't escape, I'm seeing you everywhere. Words that you say poison the air.
Another striking feature of the Poco M3 is its battery life, thanks to its huge 6000 mAh power pack. You'd be hard-pressed to find a phone with better battery endurance. The Poco M3 was able to score an incredible rating of 154 hours in our battery life tests. Charging speed, on the other hand, isn't too impressive. Even though the M3 supports up to 18-watt charging, with the bundled adapter we were able to charge from 0 to only 25% in half an hour. A full charge would take the better part of 3 hours. Waking up and unlocking the Poco M3 is done with a side-mounted fingerprint reader. It's quite responsive, though it's not as fast as other readers we've seen lately, perhaps due to the unlock animation. As far as storage goes, you can opt for 64 or 128 gigs on board, and this is expandable through microSD. The Poco M3's interface is MIUI 12 over Android 10, which is the same as what you'll find running on recent Xiaomi devices too. While many functions are provided by Google's apps, there are some proprietary ones too, like the gallery, music, and security apps. In MIUI 12, you can opt to split the notification shade into two separate panels, the notification panel and the control panel, kind of like what you'd see on iOS. There is an app drawer enabled by default that stores all of your apps, and organizes them into categories too if you like. Finally, even on our unit we saw occasional ads within certain apps, or when the virus scanner fires up after installing something from the Play Store, and some markets may have it even worse than that. Under the hood of the Poco M3 is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 chipset, which is a recently released but low-end silicon. It does an okay job for this class, but performance is one area in which the budget nature of the Poco M3 shines through. You may encounter a stutter from time to time when swiping the home screen or switching between apps, and you might encounter some issues when running heavier apps or games, unless you turn down graphics settings, or even turn down the game's resolution to 720p. Once you've done that, you might be able to make a decent go of it. Now on to the Poco M3's cameras. There's a triple camera setup on the back, but it's a basic setup. There's a 48-megapixel quad-Bayer camera, a 2-megapixel macro cam, and a depth sensor. Photos from the main camera come out at 12 megapixels, and during the day these are superb for this class. There's more than enough detail, balanced sharpness, good contrast, and lively colors. Dynamic range is average, and there is a bit of corner softness and visible noise. But overall these photos are much better than we expected. The depth sensor is here to help out in portrait mode, and these come out pretty nice. There's good detail, proficient separation, and natural looking defocused backgrounds. Close-up shots taken with the macro cam are okay if there's enough light. You can get enough detail for 2 megapixels and low noise, but contrast isn't great. The trouble is, since focus is fixed, it usually takes multiple tries to get a macro shot to come out sharp. In low light, photos from the main camera are mediocre in quality. There's enough detail, but the pictures are dark and quite noisy with washed out colors. We did notice that if you switch on the AI camera mode at night, you get a brighter photo with some restored highlights. And there's also support for a dedicated night mode. It brightens the whole scene, restores blown highlights, and wipes out the noise, though this results in a loss in fine detail too. The overall result isn't bad though. For selfies, the Poco M3 has an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. These photos have okay contrast and colors, and a mediocre amount of detail. There's visible noise and average dynamic range, and we ran into occasional issues with the exposure too. Videos can be recorded in up to only 1080p resolution at 30 FPS. This footage has okay contrast and colors, average detail, and narrow dynamic range. There's no support for electronic stabilization here. So that's the Poco M3. This phone punches above its entry-level weight class, offering a large Full HD screen, incredible battery life, great sounding stereo speakers, a feature-packed interface, and a surprisingly good main camera. Plus, even though it's plastic, I really like its textured back design. Of course, there are compromises to be made, most noticeably in the performance, which can run into hiccups here and there. Plus, the camera setup isn't very versatile, and both selfies and video recording are nothing to write home about. But still, the overall experience is a lot more than you'd expect for this price. And if you're shopping for an entry-level phone, or even just want to save some money on a mid-ranger, the Poco M3 deserves a recommendation. Thanks for watching guys, stay safe and see you on the next one.